Of every 10 musk ox calves born into an Arctic winter, fewer than half will survive their first year. Not because they are weak, not because they made a wrong turn, but simply because the world they were born into was never designed to keep them alive. The musk ox is one of the oldest surviving large mammals on Earth. It has walked this planet for hundreds of thousands of years, outlasting woolly mammoths, saber-toothed cats, entire ice ages. And yet, in this moment, in the 21st century, it stands on the edge, battered by a climate that is changing faster than it can adapt, hunted and displaced by a species that barely knows its name. This is not a story of a survivor. This is a story of endurance without reward, of a creature that has paid every price this planet has ever asked and received nothing in return but another frozen dawn. It enters the world in silence. There is no shelter. There is no warmth. There is only the Arctic tundra, a landscape so hostile that most living things have long since abandoned it. The calf drops to the frozen ground in late April or early May, and within minutes, it must stand. Not because it is ready, because the alternative is death. The temperature outside can fall to minus 30 degrees Celsius. The wind cuts across open plains with nothing to stop it. And the calf, still wet, still trembling, its legs folding and buckling beneath it, has to find its mother's side before the cold claims it. It does not know where it is. It does not know what it is. It only knows cold. In those first hours, the calf is at its most vulnerable. Wolves circle the herd. Arctic foxes watch from a distance. And the herd itself, the great, shaggy ring of adults that could protect it, will not form that defensive circle unless the threat becomes immediate. The calf must keep up. Already, on its first day of life, falling behind means dying. Roughly 40% of musk ox calves born in harsh winters do not reach their second season, not from predation, not from disease, from cold. From the simple, brutal mathematics of a body too small to retain heat in a world that takes it away without pause. This animal does not get a childhood. Within days of birth, the calf is expected to move with the herd across terrain that would challenge an experienced adult: loose rock, icy slopes, frozen rivers, open ground exposed to wind from every direction. The mother does not carry it. She cannot. She can only walk, and the calf must follow. She teaches it by example, which is the harshest possible way to learn. She digs through compacted snow with her hooves to expose the frozen grasses and sedges beneath the only food available in winter, and the calf watches and tries and fails and tries again. It does not have the body weight yet. Its hooves are not hardened. The snow does not yield to it the way it yields to an adult. And so it waits, and it hopes, and sometimes it goes hungry anyway. The predators are always present. Wolves are the primary threat, and they are patient. They do not chase the herd recklessly. They study it, looking for the calf that stumbles, the calf that falls a half step behind, the calf that stops to rest when the herd does not. The mother cannot teach the calf how to outrun a wolf. She can only keep moving and hope the calf understands. Polar bears, in certain coastal regions, are an additional threat. Arctic foxes rarely take a healthy calf, but will not hesitate if the animal is weakened. And in some parts of the musk ox's range, golden eagles have been documented taking very young calves in open terrain, sweeping in from above before the adults have time to respond. There is no lesson that makes any of this easier. There is only survival, practiced daily, with the permanent understanding that one mistake, one moment of exhaustion or distraction may be the last. In summer, the tundra briefly softens. Grasses, sedges, mosses, and willows emerge from the thaw, and the musk ox grazes almost constantly, converting every available hour into body mass because winter is always coming, and survival through it depends entirely on the reserves built in the months before. There is no comfort in summer. There is only preparation for what comes next. In winter, the animal spends the majority of its energy simply staying warm. Its thick double coat, the outer guard hairs, and the dense insulating underlayer called kivute is one of the most effective thermal barriers in the animal kingdom. But it comes at a metabolic cost. Maintaining that coat, producing that warmth, circulating blood to extremities in 40 below temperatures requires fuel. And fuel, in winter, is buried under ice and packed snow. The musk ox must dig, every day, for hours. through layers of crust and compaction to reach vegetation that is itself nearly frozen and offers minimal nutrition. It eats what it can find. Sometimes, that is not enough. When the snow is too hard, when an ice crust forms over the tundra, a phenomenon increasingly common as temperatures fluctuate due to climate change, the musk ox cannot dig through it. It cannot eat. It stands in the wind and waits. It may wait for days. This is a creature that evolved to endure. But endurance is not the same as comfort. Endurance is simply the refusal to die, and even that refusal, in the Arctic, can only last so long. There are moments in a musk ox's life that should not be survivable, and many times they are not. Icing events when rain falls on frozen ground and seals the tundra beneath an impenetrable layer of ice have killed entire muskox populations in isolated regions. The animals cannot dig. They cannot move to better ground fast enough. They simply starve in place, standing in the cold above a floor of food they cannot reach. Storms on the open tundra are a different kind of violence. The wind reaches speeds that physically move these animals, that blind them, that separate calves from their mothers in minutes. A calf separated during a blizzard does not return. It does not find shelter. It lies down in the snow, and the snow covers it, and by morning there is no trace. Then there are the wolves. A wolf pack that targets a musk ox herd will pursue it for hours, sometimes days, testing the formation, looking for a break. The herd's defense, forming a defensive ring with calves at the center, adults facing outward, is the primary strategy the species has developed over millennia. It works, sometimes. But a ring can break. An adult panics, runs, and the formation collapses. The wolves are inside before the herd can reorganize. And when a bull charges to drive the wolves back, lowering its massive curved horns and running at full speed, it is not heroism, it is desperation. It is a 500-kilogram animal throwing itself at the one threat it has any chance of stopping, knowing full well that a wolf it misses will simply circle back. There are no good options. There is only the least bad one, chosen in a fraction of a second, in the dark, in the cold, with the sound of the pack closing in from every direction. The muskox is a keystone species. Its grazing patterns stimulate plant growth. Its hooves aerate compacted tundra soil. Its waste fertilizes ground that would otherwise be nearly sterile. The muskox literally keeps its ecosystem alive, maintaining the delicate balance of Arctic vegetation that supports everything from lemmings to migratory birds to the wolves that hunt it. Without the muskox, the tundra shifts, plant diversity drops, the soil compacts, the insects that pollinate the summer blooms decline, the caribou that share its range find the vegetation altered. The entire web, pulled from one corner, begins to unravel. The musk ox holds this web together, and in return, the tundra gives it nothing. No shelter, no mercy, no warmth. It is asked to endure everything so that the ecosystem around it can function, and it receives no protection, no stability, no guarantee of survival in exchange. But June ends, the ice returns, and the muskox returns to its only true purpose, surviving another season that was never designed with it in mind. The muskox is not listed as globally endangered. That fact deserves far more scrutiny than it receives. In certain isolated populations on Banks Island in Canada, in parts of Greenland, in small reintroduced herds across Scandinavia and Siberia, numbers appear stable, but stability is not the same as safety. It is the absence of visible collapse. And in the Arctic, collapse rarely announces itself with time to prepare. Climate change is rewriting the conditions this animal evolved to survive. Warmer winters mean more rain-on-snow events, more ice-locked tundra, more starvation events. Permafrost thaw is destabilizing the ground the muskox walks on, altering the vegetation it depends upon. Shrubification, the advance of woody shrubs into open tundra as temperatures rise, reduces the low-lying grasses and sedges the animal grazes on, replacing them with vegetation it cannot efficiently process. Some conservationists argue for active management, monitoring populations, relocating herds that face habitat collapse, protecting calving grounds from industrial disturbance. Others argue that intervening in Arctic ecosystems risks creating dependencies that further weaken what resilience remains. Both arguments have merit. Both carry risks. And while humans debate the most responsible course of action, the musk ox continues to live by the only philosophy it has ever known: keep moving, keep eating, keep the herd together, and hope that this winter is not the last one it can endure. It has no voice in this debate. It did not ask to be part of one. The muskox lives where most things cannot, and that is not a compliment. Its primary range covers the high Arctic tundra of Canada and Greenland, stretching across some of the most remote and inhospitable terrain on the planet. Small reintroduced populations exist in Norway, Sweden, and Siberia, placed there by human conservation programs after the species was hunted to extinction in those regions in the 19th and early 20th centuries. In Alaska, a reintroduced population established in the 20th century persists in isolated pockets. These are not rich landscapes. They are not biodiverse. They are flat, open, wind-scraped plains of low vegetation, broken by rivers of ice and rock too unstable to cross safely. There are few places to hide. There is no forest, no canopy, no shelter from weather or from eyes. What the muskox calls home, most species call uninhabitable. And now, even this is changing beneath its hooves. The permafrost that formed the structural foundation of the tundra for millennia is thawing. Ground that was solid is becoming soft and wet and unreliable. Coastlines are eroding. River systems are flooding in new patterns. The tundra itself is transforming into something the muskox did not evolve to navigate, and it has nowhere else to go. Its territory was always the last resort. Now, even the last resort is being renegotiated. It has survived ice ages. It has survived the extinction of nearly everything that once shared its world. It has walked this earth for hundreds of thousands of years, through cold and darkness and silence that would break most living things completely. And still, most people alive today could not pick a muskox out of a photograph with any confidence. Most could not name the continent it lives on. Most have never once thought about what it costs this animal to exist, what it gives up every single hour just to keep breathing in a place that was never supposed to sustain anything. The muskox does not fight for survival the way we narrate it in stories. There is no dramatic last stand, no triumphant return from the edge. There is only the herd, moving slowly across the open tundra, heads down against the wind, hooves cracking through ice in search of something buried beneath that might be enough to last another day. It will do this tomorrow, and the day after, and in the depths of a winter that offers nothing but more cold, more wind, more ice locked over the ground that holds everything it needs to survive. It has no knowledge of the world changing around it. It only knows that something feels different, that the ground is less reliable, that the winters are stranger, that the ice crusts harder and breaks later, and the calves are thinner in spring than they used to be. It does not understand what is happening. It only understands that it must keep going. And somewhere on the open tundra right now, in the dark and the cold and the silence that covers the top of the world like a second sky, it is